Hey there, welcome to episode 3 of the Freelancing Legacy. This is your host, Amy Bernice. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about what does experience have to do with your freelancing journey. I have been sitting here for hours, to be honest. This is only my 3rd episode. I have 4 episodes to go, and I'm just trying to be, make everything sweet, brief, concise, accurate, with storytelling, a lot of things like that. I really wish that you have been enjoying the past 2 episodes of the Freelancing Legacy and have learned a lot from it. And hopefully you're going to be applying it in your freelancing journey if you haven't yet. And speaking of experience, this whole thing in freelancing, my, let's say 2 to 3 years of experience being a freelancer, or 4, can't even remember now. What my experience has taught me is that experience isn't really something that is being valued in the freelancing industry. And we mistaken it and we consider it as one of the top values, or one of the top things that we prioritize when you are becoming a freelancer. I remember my good friend David Trotter, to whom I had an interview with, or to whom I had the chance to interview rather, he told me about how Filipinos put so much emphasis on certificates, and certificates equals experience, right? And then when you go to online freelancing sites like Online Jobs PH or Upwork, it is definitely the first or the second bullets under qualifications is the number of experience that is being required for that very task or job. Now, this is where freelancing is a lot different when it comes to home-based jobs, because freelancing is actually not contractual. What do we mean by contractual? We mean freelancing is not going to tie you into a certain number of years into contract, and that certain NDAs and that certain things that you cannot do, like you cannot get another client or whatever. Like those things usually appear on home-based job contracts. And in freelancing, it is called freelance because the idea is that you are only being called when you are needed. So that is the basic concept of freelancing. You are going to go there as an independent contractor, not tied to an employee, and you are just going to go there when your services are needed, or you are going to talk to that client when your services are needed. And so it's a lot different compared to a work from home setting or a home-based job, right? Because you are supposed to clock in multiple hours a day, have a login, have a log out, all those kinds of things, right? So when it comes to quote unquote experience, what does that really mean? Should I have a lot more experience? Should I not have experience? What can I do about this, Demi? So in a lot of cases wherein you go to freelancing sites like Upwork and Online Jobs PH, you would really see under the qualifications tab that they require you for a specific number of years of experience. And what that means is that they usually want you to be in their company for quite a while rather than just become this one-off thing. That's why they want to ensure that you have a specific number of years of experience to make sure that you actually are familiar with the job, and they don't need a lot of time to train you, okay? That's basically what it means when someone asks for your experience. In freelancing, it's a lot different because experience is actually equivalent to the work that you have done in the past. All right. And so freelance services such as graphic design and website design, your experience is actually the product or the website or the graphics that you have produced in the past, regardless if it was for a client, a friend, a family, or for yourself, especially if it's a visual project. Right? So you don't really need like specific number of years of experience. It's more of like the samples of your work, all right? credits or qualifies as your experience, not the certifications that you have. And I do agree with David when he said that we put a lot of emphasis on certifications, and I get why that is, because it is being required by a lot of employers, right? I remember back in the day when I was still a teacher trying to apply for a job, I have a very long list of certifications that I had, collecting them from college up until I started looking for a job, and HR didn't really look at it. Like, it wasn't even the part where the HR was so impressed by. It was more of like the things that I wrote in the cover letter or the resume or whatever. But then again, we are not talking about home-based jobs here and employment jobs. We are more talking about freelancing. And so when it comes to building your very own experience, you don't really need to say like, hey, I have 72 years of experience in graphic design, whatever, because in a lot of cases, even if, let's say, in the freelancing world per se, your 72 years of graphic design experience wouldn't really matter if your work is shitty. Sorry for the curse word. But I'm saying there are a lot of people, because this is a skill level thing, right? And there are a lot of people that are stagnant in their skill because, they have reached a certain number of years of experience and they think that they don't need to sharpen the saw anymore. So they stop learning. And then new people come in of the same skill, right? So let's say you're a veteran in graphic design, and let's say you have like 10 years of experience. And then you stopped studying about graphic design because you were like, why the hell would I need to bother looking into the new updates and trends of graphic design, because, I don't need it. I have been in the field for quite some time now, you're trying to stroke your ego or whatever. And then, of course, because the technology moves so fast, there are new offsprings of graphic designers that reach the freelancing industry. And you'll never know, even those people who have only spent 6 months and 1 year in graphic design, they're a lot better than you, because they have studied the new theories and new trends, new whatever. At the end of the day, that kind of experience, regardless how long that is, doesn't really matter, because what the client is looking at anyway is the skill. And even if, let's say you have 10 years of experience in graphic design. Let's say you're really good. Client looks at your portfolio, it's not the type of design or it's not the type of vibe that they're going for. You think they're still going to pick you? You think they're going to say, okay, let's pick this person because this person has 10 years of experience, but I'm not sure if she can get the vibe or pattern that I'm going for, but I'm just going to get her because she has a lot of experience. No, the client will always look for a project that you have done in the past that is very similar to what they are looking for. That's why when you are trying to build your portfolio and compiling your experiences, quote unquote, you actually need to have a lot of variety. Okay, so whatever you have in your website portfolio or whatever you have in your media kit, CRA mentees, hello. If you have that, you have to make sure that it is actually of myriad variety. So it's not only just logo with this style, emblem style, you have to be more varied. Okay. And there are also artists out there, specifically graphic designers, that are creating designs in a very specific way that they're really just targeting also specific clients that would want that vibe or design or trademark that they have. One example is one of my students, Jaira Lynn Repalbor, who is an illustrator. She has a very distinct way of drawing characters. I think the arms are so skinny, heads are a little bit bigger, foot is bigger, it's not super even, that's how she draws cartoons. And it's not all the time that a person would come to her and want that cartoon, but that's her trademark. Right? That encompasses her trademark as an artist. It could go the same for social media managers. I know someone, one of my students, Abby, who is only serving people that are professional therapists or psychologists or something like that, something of that sort. It's like most of our clients are actually in that field, in mental awareness, mental health, mental wellness field. And that's her thing, right? It doesn't need to only be in art. It doesn't need to only be in, the way you draw or the way you design. It could also be the type of industry that you serve that is basically your trademark. In other words, your niche. And so, whatever you choose to build your experience, quote unquote, with, whatever you choose to build your portfolio with, regardless if it's for graphic design or for a very specific industry, specific trademark, whatever, just make sure that at some point you're going to create variety, okay? Because your client is going to look for it also, okay? So, yes, good news to the people who are very much addicted to certificates and are worried about the word 3 to 5 years of experience under the words qualification. Well, there's just a little bit of misconception on that one. I think that if you're looking at job listings wherein there's a specific number of years of experience, it usually falls on the category of home-based jobs and work from home opportunities rather than freelancing. Because again, the idea of freelancing is that you are being called for the service at that very time. You're only called when they need you to. So I hope that this episode helps. I am enjoying the sit-down talks with you. I have 4 more episodes to record. And so I hope that you're learning something out from this. And till the next episode.